Welcome to another episode of the Talk Condo Release Radar, where every week we talk about the latest new condos to help you save thousands by getting in first. And the last week we've been saying the spring market's coming, and it's really come in a big way.
So. Oh yeah, spring.
Yeah, we say that because on the weekend there was the ice storm.
Right.
You had the drive up to Stouffville for 9th of Maine, so you know all about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some of the new condos that have launched. And there's a lot to go through. We've been saying, and I'm excited about this episode because since we started doing these roundtables, we've been talking about these projects for the last 4 to 6 weeks, and now we're kind of seeing them all come to light. And if you've been paying attention, you already know that these are coming up. You've already registered on the priority list, and you're going to get the information a couple of days before everybody else to give you that chance. So the first one we're going to talk about is Uovo Condominiums. Another one we've talked about a lot. We did our top 5 reasons to invest in this condominium, but as of 10 minutes ago, we just received
10 minutes ago Tuesday.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago on Tuesday. So we've just received the floor plans and the prices.
Yeah.
And you did have a chance to go through them as quickly as you
Very
could.
briefly.
So give us a quick rundown on first of all, Uovo, before we talk about the price list, what are some of the key things they need to know?
The single biggest thing that I think everyone should be aware of is that this is a boutique building. It's super exclusive. There's only 67 units in this building. It's only 11 stories. So, there's going to be interest, but there's only a certain number of units that there is available.
Early access is key.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of the key things that I really want to touch on, because like we said, we just got this only 10 minutes ago. Ceiling heights from 2 to 6 are going to be 9 foot, which is really great. And then 7 to 11 is all 10 feet, which is fantastic. And we were banged on with some of the other things. You're going to get 30-inch appliances in the kitchen, the cooktop, your panel fridge, 24-inch dishwasher, 13 feet ceilings, we said.
So I was going to say the key thing that's really takeaway here is that this is really designed for the end user.
Yeah, end user, very high-end building.
Fits in with the neighborhood. Chaplin Estates is
Yes.
just around the corner.
Actually, yeah, well, it's within Chaplin Estates, the neighborhood. And the other thing that we spoke about briefly a couple of weeks ago, last week as well, we didn't actually know what the address would be. This is key. It's actually going to be 2114 Yonge Street. Yep. So it will have a Yonge Street address, not a Hillsdale Avenue address. The suite ranges, the square footage, you're looking at low 600s, 626 square feet to be exact, all the way to 1887 square feet. So you're going to have a substantial, some of the very large suites. You don't actually tend to see that big of a suite size, especially in this neighborhood. That kind of suite size, square footage, real estate size, you're looking on the low-rise side. Yeah. Right? So, and to get into the sort of low-rise market in Chaplin Estates, you're looking at minimum $2 million.
Perfect. Yeah, it's been a project we've been interested in because this kind of boutique building is so rare in this neighborhood. You go up, you just look across the road, you're at 40 stories, you go up to the corner of Yonge and Eglinton, you're at 50, 60, there's an approval now for 65 stories, so to find a building with just 67 units, it's really boutique.
You don't see it nowadays, you don't see it, especially when you don't tend to see it nowadays, especially when it's close to a transit line.
Correct.
Right? And that's the other thing that I want to touch on once again is the other amazing thing, the other key thing about this location is that you're walking distance to not only the Yonge subway line, the Eglinton subway station, which is 3-minute walk from this site, a 3-minute walk, but you also 3-minute walk from a future LRT stop.
The Eglinton
so LRT. You are a 3-minute walk from 2 high-speed transit lines. Now, if you were to compare that to another intersection that, your 2 to 3 minute walk from, say, Yonge and Bloor, look at the price ranges in that neighborhood. They're substantially higher. So you are getting into a beautiful, stunningly designed boutique building, only 67 units.
And from the end user perspective, you're talking about that. I have a lot of people come up to me, they don't want to sacrifice too much square footage in terms of downsizing. The other big thing is they don't want to give up their kitchen.
No.
They always say, I need to have an island in there. If you take a look through the floor plans, each kitchen is designed to have an expansive kitchen with an optional island in there.
Absolutely.
Well, even if you look at the square footages, right, we said the smallest unit is 626 square feet for the one bed, which is in today's market considered a pretty large.
Big, yeah. If you compare
bed.
downtown, it's big.
Yeah.
We've taken a quick look at the floor plans, and they're really, really nice.
Fantastic. The
Really,
plate is
really
amazing.
Yeah, so on Uovo, just a couple of the quick key timelines I want to highlight. Obviously, if you're on the email list, you would have received links to
Everything.
the floor plans and the prices and the brochure. At the time of this email going out, it's Wednesday morning. So Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So over the weekend, we are going to be holding private appointments for this project. It is a project that deserves to have that one-on-one time. It is the end user project, and we've got that time set up. And you can definitely email us and make sure that you come out and
with
take a look
only
at this project.
67 units, you need to get
Timing.
on these
You need to be
one-on-one
quick.
appointments,
You need to be quick,
this early access, because if you're waiting a week or 2 weeks, those units are going to be gone. They're gonna
Yeah,
be
especially the better units. The
Yeah.
better units will be taken.
Yeah.
The other thing is actually, especially because it's an end user product, an end user building, a lot of times we get a lot of people asking us about the views. Right, they don't want blockage, and amazingly, thankfully, we do have that information too. Very quickly, it's pretty much unobstructed from all sides. Second floor, north and west. Third floor from the east and south. So
Perfect.
you're pretty good all around. All around.
Excellent. So let's shift gears to Lakeside Park Suites. And again, if you've been watching our videos, if you've been following along, Lakeside Park Suites is one that we've, again, talked extensively about. And again, just like Uovo, we did our top 5 reasons to invest, a full 30-minute discussion on this project. So we're not going to get into too much of that. We will obviously have a link in the show notes where you can check that out. But again, the Park Suites are now coming to market. So give us a quick rundown of the Park Suites and the steps for that as well.
Yeah, no, the Park Suites, Lakeside Residences is in the East Bay front, Lower Jarvis to Parliament. It's a stretch along the Toronto waterfront. So it's a true waterfront community. The development itself is going to have fantastic views. This is the third release of the first phase. Very important because this is a multi-phase development. The price point, we spoke about this during the deep dive last week, it's going to be very value-oriented, very value-driven pricing, very similar to the first release, which was the City Suite. So it's going to be priced very, very well. Potentially up to 20 to 40% lower than a lot of the neighbouring projects that have recently released as well.
We're anticipating big demand on this, and it's always tough to not draw parallels. The first release, this is the third release. It's very similar to the first release, and I know it's easy to get confused here. But the first release was the City Suites, and it sold out with huge wait lists trying to get into that one because of the price points, because of the value. And we do expect this new release to be very similar to that. So we are expecting the below $1,000 a foot, more smaller suite sizes, more investor driven. And again, just based on early demand and people we're talking to, there's a lot of interest in this one as well. So again, check the email for the details. And again, we are, as it stands, we are planning to host an event this weekend, provided that we get all the information. But just stay tuned to your emails, and you will make sure that you're invited when we have all the information. So then we want to talk briefly about 9th and Main condominiums. It launched last Thursday. Mike, I know you had to drive through the ice storm to meet some clients up there. So just give us a quick rundown on where we're at there. And
despite the ice storm, it was still pretty hot in demand. People made it out. It's one of those more end user type projects. A lot of people from the area, but not just totally, looking at like Whitby and Pickering and Ajax and Markham, and just within a 20-30 minute drive of the area, looking to potentially downsize. Still units available, but they're moving really quickly, so you need to call us or email us to get updates on inventory. Tower A was selling first, the North Tower. Tower B will be released shortly after that. We don't know timelines in terms of that, but considering the way sales moved in the first weekend, probably will be really quickly. Looking at around $625 to $650 per foot. So that's the range that we have. Pretty much in that range. There were some that were a little bit more just based on premiums in terms of large terraces and things like that. But really good price range, really attractive pricing. A lot of the smaller stuff went went
I was going to mention
first.
that next. The one-bed inventory is depleted.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at, again, first time buyers that are looking to break into the market. This was really well priced.
Yeah.
Maybe there's probably not anything left available in Tower A, but Tower B is coming. So if you missed out on that, you've been sort of looking at, you know, your situation, trying to decide if it's the right move for you. Just talk to us because the second release is coming really soon. And again, 9th and Main, Stouffville, I'm assuming people that are on the list are aware of it. If you're not and you're watching this and you kind of want to know a little bit more about it, 9th and Main in Stouffville, 3 minutes south of Main Street, GO station nearby, 8 stories, 2 towers connected by a podium. It's 212 units total, so actually not a huge project. Pemberton built, biggest builder in the GTA last year, number 1 for sales in 2017. Fantastic finishes. Views, yeah, with the ravine in the back, like the whole 9 yards. Parking and locker included, so this is one of your more traditional type throwback projects, but it's been really high in demand.
That's sort of a quick rundown. We actually, again, just like the other two, we did a full 25-minute video on this project where we talk about all the stuff that you just mentioned, but in much more detail. So again, there'll be a link to that where you can check it out. But again, 9th and Main is actively selling in the Platinum VIP release. So if you're interested, get in touch with our team. Back downtown, we're going to talk about Indie condominiums. Indie is by one of our favorite developers, Menkes Development, one of the top builders in the GTA, in the Toronto area. Indie condominiums. Give us a quick rundown. So in terms of the launch cycle, it's not a full release, so they're not releasing all the units. It's a little bit different, so it's important to understand how Indie works. So give us a quick rundown.
Yeah, so they've decided to basically do a smaller release, as you mentioned. So contact us if you're interested in Indie. We'll be able to share those details with you one-on-one. This is not a big patch of units, but they're priced extremely well. Under 1,000 a square foot is where it starts. Dundas and Jarvis, right in that area, steps from Ryerson University. TTC, Queen Station, you have Yonge and Dundas, Eden Center, major hospitals, restaurants, financial district is just south of this area. I mean, the whole 9 yards is there, and starting under that magic number of $1,000.
I think the other key thing to mention about that intersection, I know a lot of people felt that that's not an area of, traditionally speaking, it's not one of those more attractive neighborhoods. That area, I remember you mentioning this during last week's release radar, is that area is rapidly changing.
Yes. The big thing, and I'm glad you mentioned that, is people will email us and say, you know, this intersection is not our number 1 destination. But you have to understand that if you're an investor especially, getting in at this time is like getting in an early master plan. You need to understand that when cities are planning for development, they're not planning for now. They're planning for 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. And that whole entire corridor from Bloor in the north all the way to Esplanade. Down Jarvis and Church is going to be completely revitalized over the next 10 years.
Well, even the Jarvis and Dundas of today is so different from the Jarvis and Dundas of 5 years ago.
And people that bought into the vision a few years ago.
I remember when I was there.
At Dundas Square. So different. And Pace Condos are looking at
double the value.
Double the value. And 5 years ago, people said the same thing. So don't make that mistake. You have to understand what is being developed, what the vision is of the community. Again, that goes to areas we talked about, like East Bayfront. We were always big on those revitalized areas because that is where money is made if you're an investor.
That's where we've traditionally always seen the largest ROI.
And Menkes, again, you have to emphasize Menkes. One of my favorite recent stories is we had a client who purchased with 2 builders. One was Menkes and one was with another builder. He didn't have the greatest experience with the first builder, but when he went through his PDI at Harbour Plaza, he actually sent me a text, left me a voicemail saying, Roy, thank you for letting me buy into a Menkes project. This was such a great experience from head to toe. He's had no issues with dealing with them, and that's awesome. These are the kind of things that don't necessarily go on a brochure, but are so important to highlight. And Menkes are really one of the.
We've spoken about them so many times as well. Menkes are incredible. They're such a fantastic developer.
For sure. And switching gears now to Central Condos. Sorry, just go back to Indy. Indy is also active.
Yes.
Be sure to reach out to us if you want to take a closer look at this one. Central Condos in the entertainment district by Concord. Launched a couple of weeks ago, and their time frames again are a little bit different. So it's important to understand every project is a little bit different. They launched 2 weeks ago, but they given us a month to get the worksheets in, and then in a month, in 2 weeks from now, is when they're going to sit down and actually assign the units.
Right.
So we still have a lot of time here. We still have a couple of weeks to get your worksheets in, but they are on a first come, first served basis. So especially if you're looking for those smaller units, the one beds, the one bed and dens, it's important to get in touch with us now. Now is the time.
And you're buying the entertainment district. It's a little bit different. I mean, sometimes you're in outer core areas. You know, you're looking at, you're going really deep dive into those brochures, but sometimes when it comes to these areas where it's like downtown core, I don't want to say you're buying square footage in that way, but it's just one of those things where in this spot, you are looking at, we had talked about it's studios from 400s, one beds from 500s. It's incredibly well priced in an area that is just going to see even more densification.
It's funny because we could honestly, we say this a lot, but we could honestly spend half an hour on the entertainment district. And when you say this, that we're the reason we're so confident on these neighborhoods is because we've sort of lifted the curtain back a little bit and we know what's coming. You look at the Nobu Hotel and Restaurant that's going to come in, completely transform this neighborhood, will elevate everything. We know the Mirvish buildings from Great Gulf are coming on King Street. Like these kinds of iconic buildings that are going to come in are going to completely transform and elevate and bring the prices up of everything in the neighborhood. And that's why we're so confident on this neighborhood and we remain confident on this neighborhood. So again, Central Condos is available now. Very limited inventory in the entertainment district. It's probably the only active project right now.
I would say the absorption rate there is like insane.
Well, we launched the first two condos that launched this year, 357 and Theatre District. Gone. They launched in January, February, and they're all pretty much done. So,
we'll be speaking about that a little bit later as well. So,
and finally, the last condo that's actively selling is again another project that we've spoken about a lot. I'm liking this theme because we lead up to these projects. Is Playground condominiums. So Playground. Again, we did a top 5 reasons to invest at Playground. It's another area that is very unique for the location and for what it is. So Mike, give us a quick rundown on Playground.
It's again, King and Strawn is probably your best sort of major intersection, but it's in between 3 different neighborhoods, Liberty Village to the west, King West to the north, and Fort York to the south, all connected by a pedestrian bridge that's being built that's going to span from essentially the lake to all the way up to Queen West. So you have access by bike, by walking, to so many different areas, super walkable. You've got a booming tech industry that's growing just in the area. So if you're an investor, you're also looking at less than $900 per square foot average in the building.
I think that's one of the big important features, right?
That's absolutely huge. To have less than 900 square foot, you're going to be 3-4 minute walk to the King Street car. With the King Street Pilot, you're able to just go straight down into the city. It's reducing traffic, increasing efficiency of people, not just their times, but increasing efficiency in their lives. All that extra time you're not sat in traffic waiting for backed up streetcars. I think everybody who lives in that area can attest to that. So Playground Condos, still units available, but it's been selling really well. I think that was launched
a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago now.
2 to 3 weeks.
But that's the big thing. Under 900 square foot. So if you're one of those end users looking for something to break into and you've been waiting for projects, this is great. If you're an investor coming into the game a little bit late in terms of the spring market and you're looking for something more affordable, might be your first kind of investment. Less than 900 square foot is very difficult to beat in terms of value.
Even in that area, the resale in that area is slowly approaching 1,000 mark.
And we've already recorded sales over 1,000 now. They are on MLS.
Well, we know one of the particular buildings we're very familiar with. So.
Great. So again, Playground is active. Be sure to reach out to one of our team members to get more information and help you get your foot in the door there. We're going to switch now to the projects that are coming soon, and we want to emphasize a couple because, again, we have launch dates for them. We know when they come into market, so it's really important to gear up to get towards them. And again, we do encourage everybody, before we talk about the projects, if you see one that you're interested in, to make sure you register for the project on Talk Condo. Click on it, get on the priority list. There is a benefit to being on the priority list. You are going to get the information.
You get the info even before this video that you're seeing.
Yeah, but we do tend to send out the information to the priority list a couple of days ahead of time, and that couple of days can be make a massive difference in suite selection and making sure you get your first choice as opposed to your second or third choice. So it is really important. The first one is Cardiff condominiums. Amit, I know this is a project that you like a lot because it's in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's an area I go to a lot for grocery shopping and whatnot. But it's a great area. If you wanted to look at it on say Google Maps to get your bearings, it's just west of the Eglinton and Bayview intersection. That intersection, I spoke about this last time, is very important because it's the stop. It's a point where there will be an LRT stop.
Yeah.
Right. The other key thing is 15 stops across the LRT line will be underground, and this is one of those stops that will be underground. It's very key. I spoke about this when we were speaking about Uovo. It's very rare that you get to live you get to see boutique buildings close to high-speed transit lines, and the fact that this is another boutique building, it's
and we're seeing evidence of why it would be nice to have underground access to public transportation
in this
in
weather?
the middle of April.
Absolutely.
You don't think about those kind of things, but think about how people are close to path and things like that.
It makes a big
6 months of the year.
And this so there's going to be two entrances. There's going to be a north entrance and a south entrance. The north entrance from this building is maybe a 2-minute walk, perhaps even less. The building itself is going to be by Sierra Building Group. It's going to be 12 stories and only 92 suites.
Another boutique. So in terms of timelines, we are expecting that this week.
Yes.
This week. So if you're on the email list, get on the priority list, and we'll make sure that you sent an invitation to come out and review the information. Personally, we'll answer any questions that you have on this project. So that's Cardiff condominiums. Another interesting one that is, again, launching this week is the KEELEY condominiums.
The KEELEY.
The KEELEY. Go ahead, Mike.
Like
Give us some.
As you can probably guess, it's somewhere along Keele. It's a really long street. It's Keele and Shepherd.
Yeah.
Just north of it. This is a really cool location. It's pretty much walking 2 steps across from Downsview Park. And if you're not familiar with Downsview Park, it's the largest urban park in Toronto, 572 acres.
Huge. 572 acres is huge.
Yeah,
it's TFC trains there.
Yeah, it's
TFC
massive.
train there.
There's so many things that are there.
I've played football there.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you grew up in Toronto playing soccer, you played at the hangar.
It's a phenomenal facility.
It's a few minutes from the 401, 400, 427. Downsview TTC station is right there. One stop to York University, so that's big for the investors. You have Yorkdale, that's a few minute drive away. Humber River Hospital, if downsizers are looking to stay in the area. 2022 closing, 11 stories, 270 units.
Great retail.
Great retail. And
Fantastic
the pricing is
retail
going to
around
be extremely attractive here. Extremely attractive, starting from the 300s. So this is going to attract, obviously, everyone. Well, pricing is the number one thing. But again, if you're that end user looking to break into the market, these are the kind of projects that you need to be looking at right away. So very attractive. There's a million things that we can get into in terms of what's in the area. But just across from Downsview Park, and then beyond that, you've got the merchants market there, the hangar, there's rock climbing. I mean, you could go and do a deep dive of this project. There's so many things there. And this weekend.
So this week, by the time the email goes out, by the time we're recording, we don't have the information. We're hoping by the time the email goes out on a Wednesday morning, we do have information. So keep an eye out for that. If not, if you're on the priority access list, you'll definitely get a call from us. Next, we want to switch to Pickering, Universal City. We do now have a broker launch date. It is April the 25th. So it's a week today. We're going to be meeting with the developers and getting all the information. And Universal City is in Pickering, just steps to the GO station. We talked a little bit about Universal City last week, but just kind of give us the quick 5 bullet points and just quickly rhyme them off and why we're excited about it.
Yeah, I'll go through it one more time. A few minute walk to the GO, like traditional, like walk. You actually can walk to the GO station. You don't need to park your car and then try and beat everybody out of the parking lot so you're not stuck there for 45 minutes.
And why is that important? Being walking distance to go, because you're 20-something minutes
25 minutes
to
Union
downtown
Station, yeah.
Toronto.
This is a good point to bring this up, but Go Station's been in, Metrolinx and Go has been in the media a lot recently because they are trying to merge it into the TTC system and bring the fares down, which is obviously going to have more impact on the Go.
Yeah, because not everybody works right from Union, and I mean you can walk there, but some people do need to transfer from the TTC, which is going to make it more affordable. You are saving a lot of money by moving to Pickering as well, a little bit further out. You're going to save tons of money there. But I don't know if people know this, but Pickering was chosen as one of the cities for strategic growth and the places to grow at.
Yeah,
so
it was,
we're going to be looking at. I've just pulled some stats here, just over 30,000 new jobs forecasted for the area. Population's meant to be doubling very soon. This is just one of these first early phase projects. We always talk about master plan communities. In 10, 15 years from now, there's not very much in the area. I think it's just San Francisco by the Bay right now, 3 phases. So this is one of those very early stage if you're an end user looking to break into the market. Long-term investor.
Yeah, we're probably going to do
we'll do
deeper
a deep dive
because I think
sure.
there's a lot of stuff going on in Pickering that you may not be aware of. The entertainment district is a billions of dollars going into the redevelopment. Yeah, so I think again this is a project that deserves a really big look because there's some really cool stuff happening in Pickering, and we'll be definitely
and that's by design too.
Oh,
especially because what you mentioned,
the Go.
Not just the Go, but the Places to Grow Act, which is incredibly important because there's certain pockets of the GTA that were pinpointed by the government for growth. Yeah. With Pickering obviously being one of those locations, so that's incredibly important.
Awesome. The next one I want to touch on is a unique one because it's coming soon. It's a new release, but it's a new release of units in projects that were previously sold out. Yeah. So Great Gulf Homes are one of the biggest developers.
One of our favorite developers too.
For sure. One of the biggest developers, and it's not unusual for big developers to hold on to units to sell at a later time. And there's strategic reasons for this. They don't want to sell everything at yesterday's price. They have to leave some room to sell some at today's price. In case of increased costs, increased levies, increased construction costs. So what Great Gulf are actually doing now is that they have 4 active projects with remaining inventory that they've held on to. So it's the builder's release that they're going to be launching on April the 28th. So again, we just got that date this morning, and we're excited about this because the 4 projects that are involved are 4 projects that we've sold in the past to very excited clients, and they're 4 amazing projects. So I'm going to rhyme all 4 off very quickly, and we're going to touch on each one. The first one is 8 Cumberland in Yorkville. The second one is Home Condos in downtown East at Power in Adelaide. Third one is Mond Condominiums at the East Bayfront in downtown Toronto's waterfront. And the final one is 357 King West, which is at King and Blue Jays Way. It launched earlier this year, and there's a handful of floors there that they're going to be releasing. So this one's really interesting. I mean, I know we've sold a lot for Great Gulf in the past, and we're big believers in that company. So give us a quick rundown on what to expect here.
What to expect, really, honestly, it's you're going to see a limited release at each project, for sure. In order to get these, tell us now what you want to get into. Each one of these projects are absolutely AAA locations. Mond, we sold a good few years ago. You're driving along the Gardner, you can see actually constructed. It's almost complete. 357 King, huge success. We sold extremely well there, and they sold very well too.
It's done. Yeah,
it's done. It's pretty much done. Power in Adelaide is another really exciting one because that downtown east area of the city is rapidly expanding, rapidly growing.
We just saw in the media, I think the last couple of days, the approvals on the downtown relief line. Like if you want to talk about an anchor to get behind, this is going to be steps to one of the proposed new subway stops. I mean, that's going to completely change the East End, and home condominiums will still be at a great price point. The other really key thing on these new releases is that because they're full floor releases, we get access again to floor plans that are very, very popular. So 8 Cumberland, as an example, the 1-bedroom suites, the 2-bedroom west-facing suites that we had clients scrapping over a couple of years ago. So these kinds of units are now available again. So I can tell you with honesty that we've had clients already reach out to us, people that missed out in the past to say, I want in on this condominium, and people are already waiting for this launch. So if you're interested, be sure to reach out to us. This one's, like I said, April 28th is the one-day sale. So be sure to reach out to us and get more information on what to expect there. So that wraps up the condos that we have actual dates for. I do want to very, very quickly just rhyme off the other ones that are going to be just behind those, just because I think it's important to always keep them at the front. The first one is Vendome Condominiums in Markham. The second one is Garden District at Mutual in Shooter. The third one is M2M Condominiums at Young and Finch. The Newton Brook Plaza multi-phase redevelopment there. The fourth one is Door Condominiums in Thornhill. And last but definitely not least is Sugar Wharf Condominiums at the LCBO lands at the Toronto waterfront, which is going to be a huge project which we're expecting to launch in about a month from now. So that about does it for this week. As always, if you're interested in the condominiums, be sure to register, get on the priority list so that we can get you in and give yourself the best chance to get into the best units at these condominiums.